Hi, and we are finally out camping. It is so beautiful. It's the first weekend in November, but it's when I woke up this morning, it was already 74. It's just beautiful. And we've got a gorgeous site right near the water. We're at a place called Trap Pond State Park in Delaware. It's southern Delaware, and it is the home of the northernmost grove of cypress trees in the eastern U.S. So that's pretty cool. And at this time of year, the leaves, the foliage is just beautiful, including the cypress trees. So let me give you a little peek at what we've got here. So this is the view from my chair. That's the lake right there. If you're wondering what that horrible noise is destroying the peace this morning, some genius over there has a leaf blower. Yeah, take a look. So, yeah, I think he's gonna have a tough time finishing this job. But this is where I am right now, overlooking the water. I've got this old, like, 70s style lounge chair. My husband got me a really nice lounge chair for camping, but it's just not as comfortable. Since I've been struggling so much, I wanted to be comfortable. There's the view, and there's our camper right there. We brought the kayaks along, and we're hoping to get those out this morning. Out on the water now. My husband's way ahead because I stopped to check out this guy. See the great blue heron? He's just sitting there. Doesn't seem too bothered by me. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Those orange trees are all the cypress trees. Yeah, they grow right out of the water. A lot of cypress trees down in the south, like Louisiana, Georgia, but unusual this far north. So we found a better spot to bring the kayaks in, and my husband just went to get the truck. Oh, it is just so beautiful out there today. It's almost 80 degrees. First week of November. It's pretty crazy, really. But since we didn't get to go camping earlier in the fall, this is really nice. Getting pretty close to sunset, even though it's not 5 o'clock yet. Another beautiful day here at our campsite, though very different from yesterday. Yesterday I was in shorts in November, and a short sleeve shirt. It got up to 80 degrees. Overnight it got a whole lot cooler, but it's still beautiful here. And here's my view from my old lounge chair. There's our camper right there. Good old camper, 24 years old now, hanging in there. And there's the lake right there. It's actually called Trap Pond. Beautiful. So I'm just sitting in this little sunny spot. It got down into the 40s last night, so we did turn the heat on in the camper this morning, but it's just beautiful. And I am still reading Walden. I will be reading it for a while. It's not a super fast-paced book. It's interesting. It's different than I expected. He has these long rants about modern life. Modern, I say in air quotes. And he rants about the railroads. He says no one really has any reason to go 30 miles an hour, which is hilarious, of course, today. He rants against the post office. So there's a lot of rants in here. But he does, there are parts, I expected it to be all nature writing. And I did just read a part where he's talking about the sounds. Well, now he's onto the railroads again, because he can still hear the sound of the whistle from Walden Pond. But before that, he was talking about the beauty of nature and, you know, how he can just sit there and absorb it all and do absolutely nothing but feel fulfilled. And sitting here camping with this beautiful view in front of me, I can certainly relate to that. Though not necessarily as a lifestyle as he is suggesting. So it's almost Friday and it's time for me to wrap this up. I talked about my book a little bit during the camping videos. I hope you enjoyed coming along on our camping trip with us. It was just so beautiful and a much needed break for us. We've had kind of a rough year. Coincidentally, because of some medication changes, I was actually feeling the best I have felt in months. I still am. And so that made it all the better. I was able to go kayaking, as you saw. We just really enjoyed getting away. The leaf blowers didn't last too long. That was kind of crazy. And we just had a wonderful trip. So I hope you enjoyed that little glimpse into the beauty of fall and the 2 days that we spent at Trap Pond. Just wanted to say a few more words about Walden. I am enjoying it. I know I talked in that video about, you know, Thoreau ranting a bit, and he does. I was surprised to find he comes across sometimes as very arrogant, condescending. You know, he's all like, hey, I did this. Why can't anyone live this way? You know, today we would say he's privileged and he doesn't even know it. And the first chapter, each of these are actually separate essays. And the first essay, the first chapter, is 72 pages long. And it's titled Economy. So he goes on major rants about, you know, what it takes to make a living and to how he built his house. He lists the expenses to build his cabin down to the quarter penny. So I wasn't all into that, but as expected, the nature writing here is beautiful. And those sections are worth wading through or skipping over some of the more boring parts. So I am enjoying this. I'm still not even quite halfway. So I think this is going to be kind of a long one. It's not, I mean, the copy I have is only about 340 pages, but it's dense. However, I don't know if you can see this from there. Can you see all the dog-eared pages? There are a lot of quotes that I marked that I really loved. So it is, I am enjoying it, aside from the, from the ranty parts. What inspired me to read Thoreau was this wonderful book, 6 Walks in the Footsteps of Henry David Thoreau by Ben Shattuck. Ben was one of the Booktopia authors this past May in Vermont. I got to meet him and talk to him about this book. This is his own memoir about following Thoreau's footsteps in taking 6 walks that he describes in his writings. And it includes, it's memoir. It's also what Ben's going through at the time, including a really bad bout of Lyme disease, which I could certainly relate to. I have Lyme as well. Ben's book is filled with beautiful nature writing. He includes excerpts of Thoreau's writing. So I would say if you don't want to wade through Walden, I think this is an excellent alternative, 6 Walks. Also, trying to find a picture. Ah, there we go. Ben includes his own drawings. That actually is Walden. That is Thoreau's cottage on Walden Pond, his little cabin that he built. But he's got his own sketches in here. Excellent book. So if you want Thoreau light or just a taste of Thoreau, I would recommend this book. And just briefly on audio, I've been listening to These Precious Days by Ann Patchett. I always enjoy her novels, and this is a series of essays, a collection of essays, all first person, all memoir, and I am loving it. It's like she's talking right to me. Sometimes it's like she's talking about me. Like I said, it's a series of essays, so each chapter is on a different topic, but she talks about her childhood and growing up and her life as an author and all kinds of things, just life, really. She's very close to my age. I think she's just 2 years older than I am. So I can relate to so much of what she's talking about. A couple of my favorites so far, I think it's the first essay, is called 3 Fathers, and she talks about the 3 fathers she had in her life, her biological father and her 2 stepfathers. She talks lovingly about all 3 of them. It really made me think a lot about my dad, who I lost 7 years ago. And also, she talks about the ends of their lives as well, which made me think a lot about my father-in-law, who just passed away this year and who my husband and I spent a lot of time caring for these last few years. So that essay just really was moving, but she's also very funny. Another essay is called In the Doghouse, and it's all about Snoopy. And she talks about how she was obsessed with the Peanuts when she was a kid. She says she had a Snoopy shirt and a Snoopy watch. I have a Snoopy watch still because I had one as a kid. She says, you know, she slept on Peanuts sheets. So did I. And she read all the books, all the Peanuts collections. I did as well. So I could so relate to that. She actually said that Snoopy is the one who inspired her to be a writer, which I loved. And that essay is wonderful and warm and moving, but also very funny. So I'm thoroughly enjoying the essays in These Precious Days by Ann Patchett. And that's it for me this week. I hope you enjoyed coming along with us on our trip. And I would love to hear what you're reading this weekend. Let me know in the comments down below.